All right, everybody. Sensei here. I'm about to mute everybody just so you can all hear me better. So I'm going to ask that you stay muted until we give you the cue to unmute so everybody can benefit from tonight's talk. I'm happy to say we have our largest group so far, which is pretty exciting. Put your thumbs up if you can hear me. Oh, that's a good sign. All right.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
I'm saving my unveiling. I'm saving my unveiling. But I'm about to unveil. Don't worry. Patience is the ballast of the soul. Good to see you guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's well. We've got a really good group tonight, so it's great to see everybody here. I know I saw Miss Ambrosio on with us a minute ago, and many students out here. Couple quick things. If you're new to this format, if you double tap on me, that'll make me your whole screen as opposed to seeing everybody. So if you see everybody, double tap on me and then you'll see just me, which might be better. If you don't want to see just me, that's fine too. But great to see you guys. Awesome. We've had a really big week this week. I just want to point out a couple quick things. But before I do that, thumbs up if everybody in the family is healthy and doing well. Everybody healthy and doing well? Just take a quick look. It looks like it. I hope so. I really do. That is super important. I'm sorry, I got a couple screens to check. We have such a big group tonight. So good. You could put your thumbs down. Is there anybody that is unhealthy or going through a time right now? If so, please unmute, update me. As far as I know, everybody's been pretty healthy so far. Anybody?
So my mom had strep throat a couple days ago.
Okay. Is she doing better, Ella?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's fantastic. Please give your mom our best, all right? But she's healthy other than that, yes?
Yeah, she's better now.
Fantastic. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for remuting. I appreciate that. Awesome. Well, hey, let's get moving tonight. If at any point you have a question or you'd like to speak, just raise your hand and then I'll unmute you manually, okay? That's just going to make this work a little better. It'll keep the noise down and make this a real successful chat because we got so many great people on the chat tonight. But number one, really good week. I like to give a hand to everybody who's been involved with our virtual classes. So give yourself a hand if you've been on doing the Zoom classes. I have to say every day the attendance has gotten higher and better. So that's been fantastic. Raise your hand if you've been utilizing some of the videos and things, some of the tools on Facebook or YouTube. Anybody been using some of those things? Okay, I see a lot of hands. That's great. It's been great to see a lot of you posting pictures and videos. We've seen a lot of really good things. I love seeing some of you hustling with Honcho out there. That's been awesome. I was actually just watching Greg Rotulski's videos just before we got on here, so that was super cool. And it looks like he's working pretty hard. Also, some of you are sweating with Senpai. Who's been sweating with Senpai? Anybody? Okay, I see some hands of those who are sweating with Senpai. All right. We've now got 3 screens on our meeting tonight. This is pretty exciting. So we've got some people that are sweating with Senpai and some people that are hustling with Honcho. And who just thinks Sensei's completely lost his mind with all those weird hats and helmets and everything else he's been doing?
I do.
Oh, there's Senpai. Look at that. All right, good to see you, Senpai. How we doing, sir?
Good, Sensei. How you doing?
Good. We were just talking about you.
Hi, everybody.
Awesome. Well, Senpai agrees that I've lost my mind. That's relatively accurate on any day, really. Senpai, any words for just so you are aware, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to make you a co-host on this right now. We've got over 100 people on our meeting tonight. So
I see that. That's fantastic.
Pretty awesome. It's been our biggest gathering so far, and the number just keeps growing. So and just so you guys know, if anybody reaches out to you, I know we have a cap on this. So if anybody reaches out to you and can't get on, we are streaming this live on Facebook as well. So they could jump on Facebook and get on it that way. Because I think, to be honest, I think the maximum we can have on here is 100. So I think we've reached that. So That's great to see. If anybody's trying to get on, they can definitely go on Facebook Live and watch this and watch the replay of it later too. Senpai, any words for the group at all? I was just talking about how great it was to see everybody in the classes this week on Zoom. We have a lot of people that have been using the videos and tools and things. Any thoughts on any of that?
I think this is really fantastic to see everybody getting involved and just doing everything they can to stay connected. And that's really what the times are about. I was talking to one of my students that's in college right now, and I said, this is pretty crazy what everyone's going through, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, this is something that you're going to be able to grow up and really tell other kids about one day. And I said, do you remember 9/11? And he said, no, I don't remember 9/11. I was just born, back when that happened. And that's something that I remember, coming up. And I was like, wow, and then I brought up my grandmother, and Sensei, you can, I'm sure, remember this too. And she remembers World War II, and she grew up during the Great Depression. And I thought, that's pretty crazy, because none of us, at least that I can think of, were around during the Great Depression, and she's in her 90s. And, we read about a lot of that stuff in the history books, right? And now, this is history that's going to be read about, 20 years from now. So I thought, I think that's really cool to think about if as long as everyone's healthy and well. That's just something to pass along, and really remember that this is a unique point in history, not just for us, but for the world. So.
Absolutely. And just so you're aware, we were talking about that. Ella's mom had a little bit of strep throat, but other than that, I think everybody's been pretty healthy overall. So,
Well, that's wonderful. Other than strep throat.
Good news. One of the things that I wanted to touch on tonight, in my conversations with people, we've encountered what I would call a little bit of tech support, just trying to make sure everyone knows how to do some of these things, because we're all learning. And I'll tell you, I'll put myself in that category. Senpai, I'll tell you that if I get too close to the computers at the dojo, that they all just stop working. And so one of the things that I've had to do, and we've all had to do, is learn how to use new software platforms, new technology, create a lot of things. And I know a lot of you are on point with that, and that's great. In fact, most of you that are on Zoom with us are probably very much on point. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir right now. But I know there's still some people that are having trouble with some things. So I want to go over a couple things and give everybody some advice on how they can maximize the benefits of this and work together as a team. So I'll start with the first thing is our virtual classes, right? So hopefully you guys all have a schedule. I'll show you one. You'll actually be getting this in the mail this week, although it's been posted. This is a colorful version, but this is a virtual schedule of all the classes that we're doing. And I would encourage you to jump on those, and keep in mind that these classes, this schedule has been reorganized to fit the technology platform. So it's not exactly the same as the schedule you had, but you will find things on here for everyone to do. So this schedule is primarily organized by belt level and by class level, right? So for example, on Monday, we have this Youth BBC karate here. This is going to be for those of us in the Youth Black Belt Club program to get some Black Belt Club training. And then we have classes for purple and brown belts. We have classes for white, yellow, orange, and green belts. We have classes for green, black, blue, blue, black, and purple belts. And then there's special classes for our Masters Club members, our Aikido students, our Arnis students. They're all on there too. There's also special classes for our Little Dragon students, and they're separated by level. So if you read through it, hopefully it's self-explanatory. That was the goal, but I know we've had some questions. There's also classes specifically for our Black Belt candidates. We have a group of about 30 people right now that are going through Black Belt preparation. And this is in his very historic Black Belt preparation. So we've made specific classes just for them so they can make progress during this time. There's also classes for our leadership team on here. And then this, each weekend we've tried to do some special things, such as this chat right now. Yesterday we had a Psi class for our adult Black Belt Club members, and so on and so forth. And so we're constantly adding things and layering things on, but this is just where it all starts and where it all stems from. And each week we're given updates from our government, whether it be the state government, our local government, or federal government. In fact, the president's actually on right now making some updates. I had to stop watching that to jump in with you guys. I'll get a chance to review that more later as far as what we're looking at over the next few weeks. And what I do know is what we're looking at next week. And this is what we're looking at next week. And we're going to take it 1 week at a time at our school. We're going to continue. This schedule has been the same schedule that we used last week. We're going to use that this week too. And I know a lot of you have been using the videos and things. That's awesome. Keep doing that. You know, the videos that we're posting are meant as a guide to help you along with the course of the Zoom classes. But the Zoom classes are truly interactive. And they're your chance to be interactive with your instructors, your assistants, your classmates. And I would strongly encourage, if you haven't had a chance to do that, to jump on those, because that's going to be our chance to actually look and see how you're doing with the material and touch base with you. All right. So we were taking a little poll before we got officially rolling of who's had a chance to do that. But let me ask that again. Who's had a chance to jump on Zoom other than tonight and be in the class a little bit so far? Good. I'm just going to go down the screen here a little bit. We've got a few screens of, okay, we've got a good amount of you have. And the good news is tomorrow starts a new week. So we can do more of that. And I hope that you'll take advantage of that. And if for some reason your schedule doesn't allow it, let us know. We'd be happy to help you with any questions that you have. And of course, the videos are there for your disposal too. One of the things I wanted to mention to you guys specifically, you know, when it comes to joining Zoom and jumping on that, for those of you that aren't super savvy on it, that might be watching us on Facebook tonight, you know, to do the Zoom thing is really simple. The link that we use for the classes, we've been using that same link for everything to make it super easy. So right now we're on that link. Next week when we're in class, we're going to be on that link, and so on and so forth, so that it's really simple. Okay. In most cases, if you click on that link on your phone, or you click on that link via the Facebook page or anywhere else, it's going to take you right to the Zoom app or the Zoom website, depending on what kind of device you're on. And then it's going to prompt you to install some things if you haven't been on before. And then once you install it, you're rolling, you're ready to go. And a lot of you have been super successful with that. All right. It's really simple. It's really easy. You just want to make sure that you get there a few minutes before class starts, and then log off when class is ended. Make sure you're there only for your specific class, because you are literally taking up screen space for somebody else if you're not in your designated class. And it's pretty much as simple as that. But before we move on, I'm going to kind of go down my list here. Any questions about the Zoom classes, or how that works, or how that goes? Any thoughts, any questions on that? And I'm going to just peruse the screens. You guys see anybody on screen 1 there? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to go to screen 2. Anybody on screen 2? Oh, I see a question. Daniel. Okay. Daniel, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead. What's your question, Daniel?
I was wondering if I would just go to the youth BBC, or do I have to, is there like a specific class for the adult weapons?
That's a real good question. So Daniel, one of the things that we're doing on the weekends, I don't know if you were able to join us yesterday, but for our
I was not.
Okay, well, hopefully you can in the future. What we've been doing with our adults is this weekend we chose the weapon of the Sai, and we worked on the Sai with the class. We had a special class on Saturday morning. Next week, we plan on doing a similar structure with a different weapon. And our goal is over the course of the next 3 weeks to hit the primary 3 weapons, and then reevaluate from there based on what our restrictions are at that time. So we're trying to make sure you guys have an opportunity to stay fresh on these things. And then the second thing that we're doing, of course, is we're making a lot of videos for you guys too, specifically for your class. And hopefully you've been using those. But we are trying to set up some interactive time to make that efficient. And I thought yesterday was a real big success. We've utilized this new feature on Zoom at the end of this week. Well, it's not a new feature, but it's new for me. And we call it breakout rooms. And what it does is it allows us to, just like we do in class, break people into different groups so we can work with them a little more specifically. And myself and the instructors, we did that yesterday morning with the Sai, worked really, really well. And we plan to continue that process each weekend. And we've reserved Saturdays and Sundays, and we haven't put specific classes those days, so that as the weeks progress, we can put specific things there that we feel are going to be important. Okay. And Daniel, does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you, Sensei.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions about the Zoom platform at all? Okay, I'm looking at screens. I don't see any hands. I'm going to scroll through one more time here just to make sure.
We're just at our capacity.
I see Mrs. Ropp with a question.
Oh, I do see that. Thank you, Senpai. I'm going to unmute Mrs. Ropp. Go ahead, Mrs. Ropp. You're up, Michelle.
Dakota has Boy Scouts on Zoom at the same time as one of his master classes. Is there a way it's on Wednesdays, is there a way that he can make up that Wednesday class?
Well, the biggest thing I would suggest for students that are missing classes is definitely utilize the videos. Now, the reason why I say that is because the videos that we're doing are literally designed to work alongside the Zoom class.
Hi, Ian.
So in other words, if I do a Zoom class today, if I do a video today, the class that follows it next week will be essentially us recovering that material and going through it. But again, it gives us a chance to see the student do it interactively, right? So Michelle, in your specific case, I would recommend that Dakota makes the class that he can make. A couple of those.
Hi, Ian.
Secondly, make sure that he, in his case, looks at the videos. If there's material that he's not sure about, have him video himself doing it, much like you've done already. That's been great, because that gives us a chance to give you some feedback on it. And truthfully, if it becomes something that we need to, we could even set up a one-on-one time and do some of those things with him. So that's very, very workable and very easy to do, because you literally don't have to leave your house. So, which we're not supposed to do right now, right? So
Right.
That's really helpful. In fact, yesterday we had a family that was, working on Zoom and trying to figure all that out. And I actually jumped on and did a sample for them, and it really helped. So we're happy to do that for anybody who needs that. So I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna remute everybody here, just because we see there is some background noise going on here. And we'll continue here. Senpai, you'll have to unmute yourself again. Sorry about that, but
All right. I think I saw Miss Ambrosio with a question.
all right, Miss Ambrosio, go ahead, jump in for me.
It wasn't actually my question. I thought I saw Noah Vaughn with his hand up. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't seeing things, or to see if he had a question, Sensei.
Okay.
Yeah, he's sitting behind something, but I can see him right there. Hey, Noah.
All right.
This is going to unmute you.
We're gonna try to. Let's see here. I don't see him on here. Anybody see Noah?
I got him right in front of me, Sensei. I'm not a co-host.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you one so you can unmute him. Okay.
Right, sounds good.
All right. If you're officially a co-host, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Right. So now, how do I do it?
Click on him and hit unmute.
All
Now
right.
he's gone.
I can't wait to hear what this is. All right, we go back to him. He's all the way towards the end. There he is. Okay, I click him.
All right, Noah, I think you're on, buddy. What was your question?
He's not.
Will the BBC classes be?
Okay, I think you asked when the BBC classes would be. Is that right?
I asked how often will they be?
Okay. We've been doing those once a week. So the idea would be for anybody in Black Belt Club, we've actually made it a little bit longer so that you guys could jump in and get a week's worth of material in that 1 week class. So right now, the BBC class for the kids, for the youth students, for you, my friend, is Mondays at 5:30. So jump on that. That goes from 5:30 to 6. And then our adults, we've been scheduling things on Saturdays. Does that make sense, Noah?
Yes.
Great. Miss Ambrosio, if you could remute Noah, just because I still haven't found him, that would be helpful. And what I'd like to talk about for a minute here.
Sensei, I see one more question. I think Lydia's parents there.
Oh, I do. I see that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Browns. You're up.
Hi. I just wanted to know if you are able to keep track of their progress through this video class.
Good question. Good question. And that was on my list. But that's okay.
Okay.
You're totally fine. We'll go through that. you know, one of the things that we were kind of waiting to see is as far as progress for stripes and belts and things like that. Yes, we're actually doing some things in the works for that. One of the things that we wanted to see is, you know, as of earlier today at least, we were under a restriction for the next couple weeks. And so our thought was to use the next couple of weeks to get everybody prepped and ready to make that progress. And then if we come back to somewhat of a regular schedule or a live schedule in the school after that, in some capacity, that we would then progress check everybody. Now, for that, for some that could mean stripe testing. For some that could mean belt testing. For our black belt candidates, that could mean just getting a chance to evaluate and see where they stand. And so once we know for sure how that's going to work, we're going to do one of two things. Either A, we're going to do that in person with people, whether that means live in class like usual or scheduling appointments to do that. If we can't do it live and in person, and that's not something that's in the books yet, then what we'll do is we'll do it on Zoom, and we're going to actually set up one-on-one evaluations with everybody who's interested in doing that, so we can evaluate, and then we can award stripes and belts. And we have some creative ways to in the works on doing that. I don't want to spoil the surprises, but we do have some plans for that. The only reason why we haven't gotten too specific with it yet is because, just like you guys, we're living week to week with this. We want to see, you know, what the next week, what the next day is going to bring. But in our school, for most of our students, not this week, but the following week was set up as our original testing week for everybody. And so what we were going to do is essentially see where we stand on that week. And if we're still virtual at that time, start scheduling virtual appointments to help everybody progress. Mrs. Brown, does that make sense? Does that answer what you were asking?
Background here with my daughter, but yes, I like the idea of the one-on-one, you know, to see where, especially, you know, the little ones, to see if it's, you know, they're making progress through the class, because they get so distracted, you know, with their backgrounds here at home. But I think my daughter personally, she loves it, the video.
Awesome. Well, I gotta tell you, one of my favorite things, and I think I'll speak for a lot of people. I got comments from a lot of our black belts was Olivia doing the Ichi short form on Zoom. Anybody see that little girl doing Ichi short form on Facebook rather? Yeah. Look at all the hands.
Yeah.
That got commented a lot.
The first class, she had a little trouble focusing. You know, we thought it was going to be a challenge, but the second class, we were so impressed. She got a little surprised after the class because she did very good.
Well, I got to tell you, I agree with what you said 100%. I thought she did 1,000% better in the second class. You know, it takes a little bit of adjusting for everybody to get used to how we're doing this, us included, right? And so we're working hard to get better on our end on what we're doing every day. And I think the students are doing a great job of that as well. One of the things I'll say, a lot of our young people are used to looking at screens, and so they're really good at that. But sometimes there could be other distractions at home, things like that. Although for some, they're more focused because they literally have, it's only them, and not the case for everybody, but in some cases too. So I agree with what you said 100%. And yes, our goal is to make sure that everybody not only stays on track, but actually makes progress during this time. So, all right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Good talking to you. Good seeing you guys. And thank you for your power assists in class too. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I'm gonna move on, but I will give everybody a chance to speak, I promise, just so that we can get down the list of important things here. I don't want to miss anything. You know, the other thing I want to mention is our YouTube channel. So for those of you that aren't on Facebook doing this or on Zoom, the YouTube channel is a great way to stay connected. I say that because a lot of our kids, they can easily use YouTube. And just to give you some specifics on that, if you go to YouTube, whether it's the website or the app, you just type in our school, Romanelli's International Martial Arts. Make sure you spell it right. But once you do that, our school will pop up. You'll see our little logo. If you click on our logo, that'll take you right to our actual channel, which will list everything we're doing. Now, all the videos we're doing are listed chronologically. So they're listed by date. They're also listed there by class. So if you click on the playlist option, all the classes are in their individual playlists. So for example, if I'm a little dragon and I want to go to YouTube, I can go to YouTube, I can go to the Romanelli's International Martial Arts channel, I can look at the Little Dragons playlist, I can see all the videos for Little Dragons for the last couple weeks. So it's a really easy way to organize everything that we're doing. So I hope that's helpful. I know that's really helpful for me. A lot of times I go back, double check what we've done so I can make sure that even in class we're doing the right material. So that's been helpful. On the Facebook side of things, what we do there is we've been posting everything in 2 places, in our Student Center and on the general Facebook page. Now, I do want to make the official announcement tonight that this is the last day that we'll be posting everything on both of those pages. So if you're on Facebook, you do need to be a member of the Student Center, because there's going to be exclusive content on the Student Center that will not be on the main page. All right, we've done that the last couple of weeks just to make it easy and so everyone knows what's going on. But we encourage you to get on the Student Center so that exclusive content and videos and things will be found there. So if you haven't done that, do that. Now, what I can tell you is I have a Facebook. Nobody else has it. It's a made-up name. Nobody knows what it is. I made it just for this so that I can go on there and see the things that I need. I was talking to Mike Ambrosio last night. He created a Facebook just so he could do this. Good job, Mike. All right. And
everyone add him. This is his daughter. Everyone add him on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that, you know, that could be helpful during this time. You don't have to be a social media person to take advantage of these tools. You just have to take advantage of them for this time. And by the way, you could delete all this when this is all over, as we'll make some modifications to our things when this is all finished and over. What I can say, and this is the positive thing, is that we have, you know, literally unleashed a lot of tools that have been on the back burner for years. And it's forced us to do some things that we haven't done yet. And I'll tell you, a lot of these things are going to remain as we get back to what you might call normal, right? And so this has been a great learning opportunity for all of us, and we're happy to make our school grow and make it better through the process. Now, we'll take some, I know we got some questions out there, and we'll definitely take advantage of that in just a minute. You know, one of the things that I wanted to mention is that when you're on Facebook, you can get to the main page, facebook.com/Rima Dojo. That's an easy way to access it. There is limited access available that way, but being a Facebook member is the best way. A couple other things that we have done on behind the scenes a little bit more. I'm sure some of you have realized this, but we have a brand new texting and messaging system that we've implemented. Okay, who's gotten the text messages or voicemails, things like that from us? Okay, hopefully everybody, because that was the goal. And I see a lot of hands. That's great. You know, what I'll say is, if in any way you are annoyed with those, that means you're one of the people that is always on top of things and knows everything. And we applaud you for that. And we are so happy that you're doing that. But a lot of times we have to literally go up on someone and go up to somebody, put our hand on their shoulder, look them in the eye to make sure they know exactly what to do. And well, we can't do that exactly right now. So we're trying to reach out to everybody with as many different avenues as we can. We don't want anybody getting left behind. That's our team mentality. It's our school mentality. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to know what's going on. So we have been doing so one of the things I'll tell you about the text messages is you might have been getting calls or messages from unknown numbers. That's just because we have multiple lines now that we're calling out on. We have multiple short code things that we text out on through the different programs and apps that we use. So you don't have to respond to any of those, but we do ask you, please check your voicemails. Please check your text messages, because they could be from us and you might not even realize it, and it could be something really important. So please, make sure that you utilize that. We also have a brand new phone system that we've put in place, and this is really exciting because we can literally get calls wherever we are from you guys. You can leave voicemails if we're not available. We can retrieve them from wherever we are. We could even send a text message out manually to you if we need to. So these are all tools that we've set up behind the scenes to make this go better. So if you need anything at all, call the school. I know we're not there physically in the building, but we are receiving those calls. We are receiving those messages. If your call's not answered, please leave a voicemail. That just means that we're teaching or we're occupied or on another call. And so once we get your voicemail, we will return those messages. I promise you that at an appropriate time. And those are some of the bullet points that I really wanted to hit. And before I open it up for questions, you know, the last big thing I wanted to mention is just a little bit of tech support for everybody. And I've given some of this to you guys behind the scenes already. But, you know, right now I have you on here in what's called gallery view, which usually in the right-hand corner of the screen, there's a way to put it on gallery view. That means you can see everybody. And in a classroom environment, that's helpful for me. It's not helpful for you guys. So by putting it in speaker view or by double tapping or double clicking on the person that's in charge, you can see the instructor better. So that's number one. Now, some of you are doing this on a phone. Some of you are using an iPad. Some of you are using a computer. And another great thing to do is to have that device set up next to a larger TV screen of some kind if you can. And there's a variety of ways that you can mirror or double your small screen on that big screen. Even right now, as I talk to you, my family's watching the big screen above me, letting me know who has questions, because right now there's a small screen sitting in front of me where my camera's attached. So this is a really good tool. When I'm teaching classes to you, you're actually on a huge projection screen so that I can see everybody really, really well. And so these are things you guys could do too. Now, there's a lot of ways that you could do it depending on the device that you have. I'll go over a couple quick things just so you all have an idea, okay? So way number one would be HDMI cable, okay? So this is an HDMI cable. A lot of computers, you can plug this into your computer and directly plug it into your TV and then have a duplicate on your TV of what you're watching on the computer and what you're seeing. And that's really helpful. And if you set the two screens up side by side or above and on top of each other, it's really easy to do and really interactive and really useful. Sometimes you might not be able to connect the HDMI to your device. Now, a lot of times there's adapters where you can do that. So like for me, I'm an Apple user. This is an adapter, okay, that plugs into my iPhone like this, okay? It'll plug into an iPad, all right? And I'm sure they make comparables for Android devices and Windows devices. The HDMI cord plugs into here. So now we've got something that can connect the HDMI to the device. That's a hardwired way that you can do that. And they can be a little temperamental, but once you got them set up, they work really, really well. So I encourage that because the bigger you can see the instructor on your screen, the more like it is a regular class, okay? So if you haven't been doing that, definitely try that. There's also a lot of ways to wirelessly take what's on your phone or take what's on your device and put it up on your TV. Some TVs are smart TVs. They have apps right in there where you could do that, and there's a million of them. So I'm not going to go through and geek squad that for you because truthfully, that's beyond me. But what I can tell you is one of the way that I do it. Again, I'm an Apple user, and I use this thing called Apple TV, which is Apple's streaming box. So this is connected with the HDMI to my TV, and then there's options in my device where I can AirPlay or duplicate my screen onto that big screen. And that's exactly what I do when we're teaching class. And again, that works really, really well. If any of you are having trouble with that, I just wanted to geek over some of the basics. If any of you are having trouble with that, we're happy to help. Reach out to myself, the other staff, and we can definitely help you through that. And we're happy to answer any questions on it tonight. I know that's been a challenge for some people, so I really wanted to take a chance to go over that. Those of you that are up on that, you know, double thumbs up, good for you. The thing that I find is we're all in different places with the technology and being able to utilize it effectively. And so we're all learning. Senpai, anything you would add to any of that? I know I went on for a minute there, 417.
Well, everybody, if Sensei can make it work, then everyone's got a chance to make it work, right? Like Sensei said earlier, his office is the Bermuda Triangle of technology between his computer, his phone, and his printer. Most of those never work all at the same time. So somehow Sensei comes up with ways of making problems with those devices that no one's ever seen before. So it's fascinating. So I studied it for many years. So, but Sensei's absolutely right. You know, there's a lot of simple ways to make these things happen, and lean on anybody you need to get help if you need some help. And we're definitely here. Even Dolly might wake up to help you guys out if you need to. So maybe.
Any, Senpai, why don't we open up for some questions at this point about some things? Does that sound good? Anything else you want to mention?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay. So ask us some questions about, now keep in mind, of course, I hit some big topics, but ask us some questions about anything really. We're happy to answer. And this is just really more or less an open forum. I know some of you have specific questions about what we're doing right now, but how can we help tonight?
Sensei?
Yep.
I think there's even a hand raise function on the app we're all on. So
Yep.
somehow I've seen some people do it on here. You can digitally raise your hand. So let's all try to use that tonight, or you can always go old school and physically raise your hand too. But let's see how that works. See if we can all learn something.
All right. Well, yeah, we're all trying to learn something. Now I see who's raised. I can see that there's hands raised, but I really don't know what to do with it, Senpai. So.
Well, let's start. I got it, Sensei. Let's start with Greg Witalski. I'm to you.
Okay, good.
Sensei, if you go on the list, that'll help you get to that.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Greg.
We obviously have contact with Sensei, Senpai, Mr. Kos, Hancho, Ms. Ambrosio. It's good to see everybody. We don't have a lot of contact with the two Mrs. Romanellis. I just want to know how they're doing.
Can I say hi?
Well, I know how the one's doing, but your mother specifically, how is she doing? Everything going well with her?
Senpai, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure, Greg. She's fantastic. She sends her best to everyone. When we had to close the school, we told her, just stay home as much as you can and stay safe that way. And but no, she's doing wonderful. Thank you for asking, Greg. And she sends her best to everybody.
Please send the best from our best from my family as well.
We will. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That was all. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. We more than likely she's probably watching this on Facebook right now, just because she's not she's been Zooming with us. We have yet to see her face on Zoom. So she's probably playing shy and watching this on Facebook right now. I see the Goodens have a question. Why don't you guys go ahead and unmute?
Mom, you have to tap this.
I got you. Go ahead, Meet Goodens. What do you got?
Okay, so I was just kind of concerned about, like, for our black belt testing, like our bunkai and our, like, non-traditional weapons and stuff.
Good question.
Like, I was wondering how we're gonna do that.
Absolutely. So Maya, one of the things that we're doing, of course, is we're evaluating this day by day. But one of the things that I would encourage you to do is focus on what you can do for starters, right? So what we've been doing in classes is we've been focusing on, of course, the basics, the katas, the things that you guys need, which I'll be honest with you, even if none of this was going on, we'd be doing that stuff right now anyway. Usually, we don't even start working on those things until May. So we've got some time. Now, if we get into May and this is still an obstacle, then we'll probably assign you guys some different projects to make up for some of those things that are more doable for you guys. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. What I would super suggest to all black belt candidates that are testing right now is work on your essays, work on your posters, work on all the assignments you have to do. And you may have to submit some of those electronically, right? But there's ways to get that stuff done. A lot of you have time at home now, and I would encourage you to use that effectively. So Maya, for us, we're going to get it all done. It's just we may have to reorder some things, and we might have to substitute some things. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Good talking to you. Okay, I'm gonna I'm going to unmute Jacob CPU. Jacob,
So,
you're up.
all right, so for the black belt thing that Noah was talking about, is there gonna be like regular classes for certain ranks?
Well, right. Are you talking about for Black Belt Club, or what are you talking about specifically?
Well, yeah, kinda.
Okay. Well, what we've done right now is we've organized the classes by rank. Okay, we have essentially beginner classes, intermediate classes, advanced classes. Okay, and what we're going to be doing more and more of as time goes on is utilizing the breakout room function. So what that means is when we break out into different rooms, we can separate the classes by their level of advancement. In other words, we could break them out by belt level if we need to for certain things. And sometimes there's certain things we don't need to do that for, just depending on what we're working on. And that goes for all the classes. Does that make sense, Jacob?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you've been in one of those classes where we've done that yet. We worked on that more towards the end of this week, but you'll be seeing that happening more and more as we get into to this week. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. Let's go to iPhone. Unmute. We don't know who you are, but you are muted.
It's Cameron Fegan. Can you see us?
It's Cameron, and I was just wondering because it works on iPhone, like the Zoom, but it doesn't work on our tablet.
Like on our iPad.
Yeah, and it just keeps on saying that you're already in a thing when you're.
Says you're already in a meeting and it's waiting for the meeting to start. So we wondered if anybody else encountered that on an iPad.
There's a couple things I would suggest. Sometimes I'll give you a quick scenario. When we do the classes, I will do a class and then I'll leave the meeting and then I'll come back to it. So it could be that you're at a point when I was in that process. Okay. And so what happened is it might have said the meeting was in progress because I was finishing up the current class while doing type thing. Okay. Sometimes just logging out and trying it again will fix that problem. Another thing to do is make sure that your software on your device is updated. That can also make a big difference. And
I need updating.
yeah, that has been shown to be a benefit as well. So double check both of those things. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, because like we were trying on the iPad and it said that you were still in a meeting and it was waiting and it was 5 minutes after class, so I tried it on my phone and there you were teaching class. So we kind of were like, well, let's just use our phone.
Yeah, and then the other thing that and again, without it in front of me, obviously there's a lot of things we can look at, but the other thing is parents look at the parental settings on some of these devices. Sometimes if it's a children's iPad or device, you might have some parental settings there that inhibits them from joining a meeting, going on YouTube, doing certain things, right? So double check that as well. Those are kind of the top three things though. Sometimes just the timing of when you join the meeting, the parental settings on the device, and then making sure the device is updated properly. It could be trying to run a version of Zoom that isn't compatible with the iPad. So that may be helpful. Another thing to do would be to update the device if it isn't updated. Delete Zoom, reinstall Zoom, and see if that helps.
We can do that.
Yeah, I would try that. And if that doesn't work, please give us a call. We'll be happy to troubleshoot it with you as much as possible. So.
Sure. Sounds good. Thanks, Sensei.
Absolutely. Great to see Cameron in class the other day. I'm glad it worked out, and we'll have him even if he's late. So. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to see you guys. Let's see here. Cassidy, you're unmuted. You're up.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Cassidy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What can I do for you tonight?
I have a question about summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are we doing the deposits that are due April 1st?
Good question. Good question. So number one, I do want to address summer camp. I'm glad that you brought that up, actually, because I do have some updates for everybody. Summer camp, just for everybody who might not be aware, is an event that we do every year. It's in Canada. It's at the University of Guelph. It caters primarily to our teen and adult students. And as of right now, summer camp is still on. So put your thumbs up if you're happy about that. All right, cool. Yes. Now, and it's still on in Canada. The University of Guelph has closed down everything up to June 1st. And we're in constant contact with them. So right now, summer camp is still on. That's where we stand. Of course, I will keep updating you guys if that changes. And if that does change, any finances or any deposits or anything like that will be handled accordingly, of course. Okay. Cassidy, to answer your question, anybody going to summer camp, we do want to make sure that we do take care of our deposit this week. I've been instructed just to hang on to that for everybody so we can get a count so that we can monitor that situation. So there's a few ways that can be mailed to the school. Okay. That can be called in. We can take that over the phone. We have the ability to do that. All right. And we can also, you can even drop it off if you have your application and you want to submit that at the school. You can literally slide things under the door at the school. And we do go there once a day to check our mail and feed cats and things like that. So make sure you slide it under the front door that everybody accesses. I guess it's the one good thing about having a draft at the school is that we could actually slide things under. So if there's something you need to drop off to us physically, you can do that. I know some of you have asked about tuition payments, how to handle that, how to do that. Those three options are there. So that can be mailed, it can be dropped off under the door, it could be called in. We could do it any of those ways for anything that we have to handle as far as payments and things are concerned. Does that make sense, Cassidy?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody going to summer camp, do make sure that you get your applications in. If you don't have an application, again, call us. We can fill it out with you over the phone, but we do need to get a good count of who intends to partake in that so that we can get the ball rolling with that. And that is due later this upcoming week, the middle of this week. So please move forward with that. And of course, if any changes, we'll make the proper adjustments. Let's go to Mrs. Recchia. I am trying to, there we go. I got you. You're unmuted.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just commenting, we had the same issue with Mallory's iPad this week, and so she joined class late because I just eventually put it on my phone as well. And so I did fix it by those same things you said. We did the software update, we deleted Zoom, and then we reinstalled it, and then I set up a Zoom meeting and had her join from her iPad, and it worked fine.
Okay. So that helped then.
Yes.
Any other troubleshooting things you could recommend for anybody besides that?
The parental settings are another thing. We had to allow the website, or you have to allow all websites, because we had our setting obviously blocked to block out adult websites. And I guess it considers Zoom just like a non-children's website, so it blocks it out.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. And a quick note to parents, of course, make sure you reset that setting later.
Yeah, that's been our ongoing struggle, is going back and forth.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't have a solution for that one other than what you said there. But I'm glad. Thank you for just letting everybody know that works, though. I think that'll be helpful, hopefully. So thank you. Renee White, you are up, and before I talk with you, I just wanted to, I had a few students on Facebook that said hello. So I wanted to say hello to Gabriel and Valentino. It was great seeing you guys in class this week. There were two of our newest students, our newest little dragons that have just gotten started. So let's all give them a hand for jumping out there and doing this, because they're our newest two students, and they made sure that they lost. They got on Zoom right away the first week. So that is so super cool. Renee, Dennis, any questions I can answer for you guys?
Just a couple of things. If you really want to know how to raise your hands while you're in Zoom, go to the middle bottom of your screen. You'll see where it says participants. If you click on that, down at the bottom, it'll say raise my hand. And you should be able to raise your hand there.
Ah, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis.
That's good, because I was trying to find that, but because I'm a host, I don't have that button. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem. I Googled it when I couldn't figure it out. So,
Lindsay just Googled it and found it. That's why.
the second thing I wanted to say, there are some of us who are kind of tech savvy, and myself being one, as far as getting devices connected up to TVs. So if you have, or reach out to me through Facebook, or a couple other people I know might make themselves available. If you're having issues, I know I am with Chromebook right now, and Christian's through his settings, which I'm still fighting through. So there's some things that we have to look at. The reason I did raise my hand today is Renee and I attempted a Tai Chi class at the beginning of the week, and I'm kind of OCD maybe, but it was really challenging. And so I kind of rely on the videos from YouTube. So I just wanted to make sure, are they still being posted there, or are you going to go strictly to Facebook? Because it was just kind of difficult. I couldn't really follow it very well, and maybe it was me or just the class. I'm not sure.
Well, Dennis, I'll address a couple of things there that I think you might enjoy. Number one, yes, we're going to continue posting videos. We've been doing, yeah, we're going to be doing both of those things. So the videos are going to continue, and really the goal is for the videos to augment the class, right? So that if you're watching the video, you can do a lot of the things we're going to do in class ahead of time, so that when you are in class, it'll be easier to follow. Okay, so that's number one. So yes, they're going to continue. They're just not going to continue on the main Facebook page. They'll be on the Student Center, and they'll be on the YouTube channel. Okay, just because those are, they're a little more accessible only by knowing that they exist, as opposed to just anybody going on there and seeing them. Okay. One of the things I'll tell you though, Dennis, is we did a Tai Chi class later on this week, and we did it with the breakout rooms, and we split the class up into a couple different groups. And Ken Patterson has also been kind enough to donate a better camera for me on my setup. And those two things put together have been super, super helpful. So I would encourage you to give it a try again. I think you might find that as we get better with this, the experience is getting better and better. And I feel like the classes have gotten better and better as the week has gone on. I won't lie, the Tai Chi class is specifically a challenge just because of the orientation of the form and not wanting to do things backwards for you guys and things of that nature. And so I did some things this week where I turned and faced different directions that have been really helpful from a teaching perspective, because we're all learning how to teach with this too. I won't lie to you, it's new for everybody. But I think when we combine that with the breakout rooms and the technology and just getting better at it, that, I would definitely give it another chance. But the videos are going to continue. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps. And I will definitely give it another chance, since I got pretty excited when you said about the breakout rooms. So we'll definitely go again. And, thanks to all the instructors and everybody for putting in all your time and effort. I know it's a challenge for you. I know it's a challenge for everybody else as well. But I think we're all kind of getting there. So thanks again.
Good. And you're welcome for that. And truthfully, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge our staff. I know that I'm the one speaking right now, but I'm sure Senpai would agree that if it wasn't for our staff of instructors, and you guys had asked about the Mrs. Romanelli's, well, truthfully, they're working super hard behind the scenes to do all kinds of things that you guys might not even be aware of. And so if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to pull this off. Everybody's working triple, literally, to get all these different things accomplished for everybody. And we meet every single day through Zoom on this platform to go over the day and what we're going to try to do and improve on, and et cetera, et cetera. So I thank you for mentioning that, and I want to thank all the staff for being a part of that. So thanks, Dennis. And Pattersons, you are muted.
Hi, Sensei. I don't have a, well, I don't know. Okay, now you're moving. It timed out for a second. I'm wondering if you can post the applications for summer camp electronically, because I don't have a copy of it. So can you put that on Facebook or email me a copy or something, whatever's convenient for you, so that I can fill that out?
Yeah, great question. Senpai, is the application on the website, on the Zenbase site? Do you know if it's there?
It should be right on the homepage.
Yeah. So those of you that are looking for the application for summer camp, go to the website zenbei.org, zenbei.org. And the only thing I will say is at the bottom of that application, it asks you to send everything to Massachusetts. Don't do that. Give it to us. we need to have that first, and then we'll send it to Massachusetts. But other than that, that application should be right on the website there. All right, Dina?
Thank you. And then the deposit was 150?
It's 100.
100. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 100. And that could be, again, mailed in or, dropped off, any of those options are fine. So, or if you want to call in and do a card over the phone, we can do that too. So, okay. Anything else on your end, Dina?
No, I think we're okay. Oh, one more quick question. If camp gets delayed, let me rephrase. My concern is that if we go back to school and they extend our school year, how will that, will that have any impact on the camp dates? Because I'm not the only one that's going to be impacted by that if that ends up being the case. I hope it isn't the case.
Yeah.
But just in case, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. What I would say to that is there's several different scenarios of how that could play out. What I will tell you is, do not hesitate in any way, shape, form, or fashion to register for summer camp. Okay.
Right.
In other words, if it works out to where you can't go for some reason, we're going to make sure we take care of that. So that you're not going to be out your camp fees, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I can't predict what they're going to do with all that. But what we have plans in place to go to our usual place and do our usual camp. We also have plans in place to move that camp somewhere else if we have to, if we can't go to Canada and do that camp. Our absolute last resort would be to cancel the camp. We do not want to do that. However, if you can't attend the camp because of something with all this, we would make allowances and make sure that you wouldn't be, you wouldn't be penalized for that. Does that help alleviate?
Yes.
Ask for permission, Christian, then it'll.
I'm more concerned about just not being able to go. I know that, I trust that you guys would take care of it. I want to go.
Yeah, well, and of course we want you to go too. And, we're going to make the best decisions we can in everybody's best interest. Obviously, our teachers that are working really hard to keep our students going right now are a big interest to us. And we'll, I'm guessing probably this week we're going to find out more about where that's headed. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Our school is supposed to have some sort of an update on the 13th. So
yeah,
but that looks like no idea, because this week we have our Zoom classes and all that stuff, but then the week after is our spring break. So they're kind of taking a break for that week, and then they'll reevaluate when we come back. So
yeah, I know that I didn't get a chance to watch all of it yet. I know the president was just on tonight, exercising some extensions on some things. I don't have the details, and I'm not gonna get into that myself because I don't have limited knowledge on it. I do know that there's been talk of our governor extending some of the school dates and such, and so on and so forth. But I know that it's Monday morning seems to be the day that these things tend to facilitate. So we might know more by this week. But it sounds like you're in the same boat as us. Well, absolutely, and I'll keep you updated on that. Feel free to keep connecting with me on it. Okay.
Right, thank you.
You got it. I've got Dr. Ganay, I believe. Dr. Ganay, are you with us?
Yeah, Lila has a question.
Excellent. I'm happy to answer Lila's question. Lila, what can I do for you?
Dojo open.
I think I heard that. It was, when is the dojo going to be open? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great question. What I know right now is that we are not supposed to, and oh, I can see you. Hi, Lila. What I know now is that the dojo will not be open this week coming up or the week after. We have to wait and see what our governor allows us to do beyond that. But the governor has asked us to stay closed as far as our building goes for the next few weeks. But keep in mind, we're not closed. We're operating. We're just operating in a different way. So Lila, if you can, I hope you can jump in class with us and try some of the Zoom classes if you can. Have you had a chance to see some of the videos and things? You have? Okay, good. Give me a thumbs up if it's a yes. All right, cool, awesome. So I hope you and your sister are working together at home to practice some of those things, and I hope that you'll go on to one of our Zoom classes next week. I'd love to see you. Okay. Awesome. Dr. Ganay, anything else on your end?
No.
Thank you, sir. Great to hear from you. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go on our page and see Dr. Ganay was on TV a few weeks back and had some nice feedback and comments about just the psychological aspect of dealing with this time we're all dealing with. And I would encourage you to watch that, especially parents. I found it very valuable. Rex Agar, you are unmuted. I see your hand.
Yes, sir. I was just curious, if I have a question for an individual instructor, should I post this on Student Center, or do I call the Romanelli's number?
Okay.
It used to be if I had a question, I could just drive up to the dojo, but I know you guys aren't open, and that's not the answer right now. So
yeah, so I would just say it really depends on the nature of the question. I mean, if it's something that's more private on your end that you don't want the whole world to know about, I'd recommend using the messenger option on Facebook, because that only comes to us. Only we can see that, and then we can make sure the instructor gets your question. The only thing that might happen is more than one instructor might see it, but nobody else would. Okay.
Okay.
That's the most private way. Well, that's one of the more private ways. Of course, a phone call to the dojo would be another way. Then we can make sure that we get the proper instructor to reach out to you if the wrong one answers. So that's helpful. If it's just a question that everybody would benefit from, you could post on the members area there on the student center, and everybody would see the question, but everybody would also benefit from the responses. And I think that's great, as long as it's a question that is appropriate, in that regard. So, okay.
All right, that was it.
Does that help?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And Chris, you're unmuted. Oh, I thought you were. I got someone that says C. I'm not sure who it is exactly, but you're unmuted. Do you have a question?
What? I forgot my.
Did you forget what you were going to say, buddy?
Yep.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll tell you what. If you think about what you were going to say, just raise your hand again. I'll be right back with you. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. I'm going to go up to Olivia.
I just wanted to know, like you said, in Facebook, we can log in the Student Center. Like, do we need a password, a username to do that, or?
Great question. I'm glad you asked that, because I should go over that a little bit. On the main Facebook page, there's a button that says Visit Group. So when you hit that button, it's going to ask you a few questions. Okay. It'll ask you, like, who you are, what belt you are, things like that. And that just lets us know that it's a real student asking to be a member. And then we have to approve you. Okay. It's pretty much as simple. It might take a few hours for us to approve you. I go through a couple times a day and approve everybody. It's just a way for us to double check, make sure nobody else is trying to jump on there. So in your case, put Olivia Brown, Little Dragon student, etc. And then we'll go, okay, it's Olivia, cool. And then we'll let you in there. And then once that happens, you have access to everything in the group. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Absolutely. One of the things I'll make mention, Facebook did create a couple duplicates of the group. And so the group that we currently have, the main group that we're using, has over 200 members. Actually, it's getting close to 300 members now. That's the group that you want to be a part of. So if there's a group that has, I don't know, 10, 15, 30, 40, that's not the one. Make sure you're clicking on the right group. If you hit that Visit Group button, that's the one that's directly linked to our page. But there's a few other invisible groups out there that we're not using. And on the group, I even put a message that said with a big red circle with a cross through it that we're not using it. So if you see that, you want to get off that group and make sure you're on the right one. Okay. We're putting stuff on there multiple times a day. So if you're not getting the updates, that means you are on the wrong group. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Thanks, guys. All right. Let's go to Ella. I'm going to unmute you. I know you've had your hand up. What can I do for you, Go ahead and unmute yourself. I can't seem to get you unmuted. There you go.
So like, I'm wondering because I might not be able to finish the chat. How would you be able to finish the rest of the chat if you're not like on it?
This is being recorded, and so my plan, well, it's on Facebook. My plan is to post the recording though on YouTube and on Facebook, so everybody can benefit from the talk tonight. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you for being here tonight. It's great to see you. You've been on here all the time. I love it.
My dad said hi.
I heard Dad. Tell Dad I said hi. Tell him at the next banquet he's got to help me carry that Christmas tree, okay?
Okay.
He'll know what I'm talking about.
Jacob, is that Coleman?
All right. Peter Rose, you're unmuted. I saw you had a question.
Apparently Trump just announced that the social distancing law will be pushed to April 30th, and I was wondering how that's going to affect us.
Great question. So
because he just extended it. So
you're saying that President Trump has extended that? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. So yeah, obviously we're going to adhere to what the president has asked. Now I have to look into the details. What I can tell you is that we do have, just like when you go, for those of you that have gone to the store, they've taken certain precautions to make sure that you can go to the store and do it safely. I'm assuming at some point we'll be allowed to do the same. And so we'll be able to resume classes even in some type of limited capacity, hopefully before that time. Of course, I have to look, as a staff, will look into the specifics, and I'm going to imagine that some of you will be itching to get back and be very comfortable with that, and some of you may be itching to get back but want to make sure that you're exercising your right to stay even safer, and I totally understand that. And so our goal is going to be to provide different options based on what our situation is at that time. Okay, and so my answer to that is we're gonna evaluate that situation and see what that means for us, and then develop a battle plan. Does that make sense, Daniel?
Yep. Thank you, Sensei.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob, I'm gonna unmute you, buddy. I see your hand. What can I do for you?
So I was just wondering, do you like my shirt? It says rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, scissors, rock, paper, and nothing beats karate.
Hold on. Let's make sure everybody can see that. One more time, Jacob. How does that work?
It says rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, scissors beats paper, and nothing beats karate.
I love it. The only thing I would say is we should change it to nothing beats martial arts, just so that none of our Aikido guys get angry and try to throw us around. But other than that, I agree with it 100%. That's awesome. Very good. It's been great to see you in class. Keep that up too, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man. Great talking with you. I'm going to take the spotlight off of you here for a second. All right. Any other questions tonight? Let's see here. Okay, no one's raising their hand digitally. I do see some physical questions. So I'm unmuting iPhone with their hand up. iPhone with your hand up.
I was just wondering what devices.
Oh. All right, man, you got muted. Start over.
I was wondering what devices we could get Zoom on.
You can get Zoom on any computer. You can get Zoom on any Apple device for the most part, so an iPad, iPhone. You can get Zoom on an Android phone. You can get Zoom on any device as far as I'm aware. So it's pretty popular. I think you can get it pretty much on any Windows, Android, Apple platform. All right? Who am I speaking with? I'm having a hard time seeing the picture there. One more time?
Cameron.
Hey, Cameron. Thanks, buddy. Good talking to you.
You too.
Thanks.
Cameron, what's the name of your cat?
Smokey.
Smokey.
Because she looks like smoke. Because she's like gray.
It looks very comfy.
Yes.
Sensei Slicker, you can unmute. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, Sensei, you're doing a absolutely fantastic job. I'm looking at all the people here that are engaged, and I am thoroughly impressed. And congratulations with everybody here. This is a great experience, and I think that every single one of you are a huge contributor to Romanelli's International. So, yeah, that's what I want to say.
Thank you, Sensei Slicker. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you, and we appreciate you being here with us too. And I would only say that we're a team, and I don't just say that as far as our staff are concerned. We're all a team. You know, without the students, there'd be no instructor. Without the instructor, there wouldn't be any students. You know, it's a two-way street, right? You know, and maybe a few people lead the charge, but it only is of benefit if someone's following the charge, right? So I'd love to thank everybody for following the charge. And you know, one of my favorite things, I was running today. I was running around my subdivision, and actually was in the window on the front door of an old student of ours house, and it was the Captain America shield, and it said, "I could do this all day." And so I immediately posted that on our page. You guys might have seen that, but if you know Captain America, you know that quote, "I could do this all day." And so I encourage you all to keep that in mind. You can do this all day. Whatever life brings your way, we can do this all day. We can deal with it. We can move forward. We can grow because of it. So thank you, Sensei Slicker. Any other physical hands in the air here? I'm gonna
Brandon Jacobs, Sensei. Brandon Jacobs is dying.
Ready to burst. I'll unmute him.
I got it. Brandon, you're up. Go for it, buddy.
Will we be doing weapon classes at home?
You know, that's a great question. And we decided to test it out with the adults first this weekend and see how that went. Make sure they didn't break any lamps or any couches or anything like that. And I'm happy to say it was a pretty good success. But, you know, we've decided for the next few weeks, we were actually using sparring gear in our dojo classes. And so we've decided, obviously, we can't spar with our parents. That wouldn't be very much fun. Well, it might be fun, but not very legal. So what we're going to do, so we've decided to alter our curriculum a little bit. We've been working on some cotton, some other things for you guys. And then depending on how far we progress, you know, that was actually on the schedule for March and April. I'm hoping that by then we'll be back in the dojo for sure. We'll be doing some weapons for sure. But if we need to, we'll definitely add some weapons on the list for sure. Absolutely. So hopefully you guys have your weapons at home, and we'll be in touch on that as the weeks progress. Okay, Brandon?
Okay.
Good question, man. Anybody else? Let's see here. What's that, Joe? Christian, did you have a question? Let's see. Oh, yeah, I see the hand. Did you figure out what you wanted, buddy?
What type of animal do you have?
Oh, you name it, my friend. You name it. Actually, we've got 2 cats and 1 dog. I'll show you one of them right now since you asked. Come here, bud. This is Earl. Everybody say hi to Earl. You can wave it. Yeah. Earl's what we call our handicap because he's a handicapped cat. So his back legs don't work the way everybody else's do. But he's actually one of our fastest animals. So you know what? He's a real good example of I could do this all day. He's only got 2 legs. He does this all day. Earl, ladies and gentlemen. Any other questions tonight?
Yeah, it's from there.
Shelly's iPad Pro.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. Good to see you. Good to see you. I had your hand up so I couldn't see your face. I'm sorry.
I got tired of waiting. He left. I apologize. I'm going to learn what this button is for Zoom for the raise your hand. My question is this. I have real concerns about Parker being on Facebook because I explained to you earlier about my work schedule now with all going on. So we're mandated 6 days, 12 hours. And he's with my aunt and uncle, and that's my concern is, do I set up a page? Like, how can I set Facebook up where he can just only go to you?
Yeah. Okay. So what I would suggest in his case is I would use the YouTube opportunity. that's going to be better for the kids. They're not going to go on Facebook. All the same videos are on YouTube.
Okay, but then he goes on, so I'll have to change his setting on his iPad. Okay.
Yeah, you may have to do that, but obviously our videos don't have any, negative content in them. So that should work fine.
It's just trying to teach my aunt and uncle how to do it. They're older and they have no interest, but the hospital calls, you have to go. It's crazy.
And since I know you and I spoke the other day,
right.
I'd like to just take a moment to thank you and any of our people that are out there in the medical field working right now because that is extremely important. You're risking yourself to benefit others, and we appreciate that. That we all contribute to this in our own way, and thank you for that. What I would suggest also, of course, is the Zoom app where he could do those classes. If you're able to figure that out and get them set up, or they can handle that for him.
Right, he does Zoom.
Okay, great. If he does that, that's going to be really helpful, obviously. And then the YouTube videos will augment that and support that. All the same materials on both YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, I would encourage the kids to not be on Facebook. That's why we created the YouTube channel. So, okay.
Right, and I know I also spoke with you about him not being able to log in on Thursdays because of his reading program. Yes. And that's already been set. So he'll just go on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm just trying to make it so when I'm at work, he's calling me at work and I'm not able to answer the phone to tell me, I can't get this, I can't. And it's just because he has so many restrictions that I put in place.
Yeah,
that way.
Understood. Yeah. The thing that he can do, you said it was Thursday was the day, right?
Right. He logs on Thursdays at 5:30.
The other thing, this week he jumped into our advanced little dragons class, and I would say he could definitely keep doing that. That's fine, because that's going to be a good review for him. And then if he does the other day that he can do, and then do that as the videos, he put all those things together, he's going to be in great shape.
Okay, that's fine. I had to tell him, I can't take the calls at work. I'm on the unit, and he's calling like this, that, and my aunt's calling. I'm like, stop calling me. I'm not going to answer the phone. More important, I know what it was that he wanted. He wanted me to lift the restriction.
Yeah.
That won't happen. I'll have to figure out something.
Well,
trying to be harder than me. Thank you very much. This
my pleasure.
Session was I learned a lot, and I needed to hear for myself.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. That was my goal. Thank you. Makes me feel good. Good
Thank you.
You got it. Any other questions tonight? Let's see here. Scrolling through. Okay, I see two more. All right, we got a few that have spoken already. Anybody that hasn't spoken already before I give them the floor for a minute, guys, as we finish tonight? No? Okay. No one wants to be brave in chat, huh? Okay. Well, I've got a few last questions before we close out, and Senpai, I'd love to have you do that and cover anything that I might have missed as we finish. So, Daniel, what was your last question, buddy?
Well, I actually didn't have a question. I kind of had a comment. I really wanted to take a chance to verbally thank you guys for what you've been doing at the dojo and like uploading the videos to the Facebook, the YouTube, and doing the Zoom classes to keep us like kind of up and running amongst like the coronavirus. And I wanted to thank you guys for like keeping us running.
Hey, well, you're more than welcome. On behalf of all the staff, you're more than welcome. And thank you for being a student that's been engaged in those things, because that's why we're doing it. So thank you, Daniel.
Yep.
And let's see. Any last, I saw another hand somewhere here. Take a quick look here. I think that, I don't see that anymore. Okay, I think that is it for tonight. Senpai, anything you want to add as we close out tonight?
Sure, Sensei. I think it's awesome to see everyone supporting the healthcare workers. They're going through a lot right now and doing a lot for everybody to keep everybody healthy. I'd like to thank all the parents, along with all the kids at home, to make the adjustments that are necessary. Because not only are we trying to accomplish, the dojo through Zoom, but I know a lot of parents are turning into school teachers at home, and also all of you that are adjusting work-wise too. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Bayerlein this week, and he works for Lapari Foods, and they're scrambling, they're working, you know, triple time to make all the runs they got to do and handle the extra load. So thank you to everybody for making the community what it is. So you guys are awesome.
Thanks, Senpai. 100% agree. You know, there's so many jobs behind the scenes that we don't even know about that are keeping things moving. And we, last thing we ever want to do is leave anybody out. And we thoroughly appreciate that from everybody in their own way, you know. One of the things I'll leave you with tonight that I would ask that you take a look at is you're going to be getting some things in the mail over the next few days. You're going to be getting some hard copies of this schedule, so you have it. A lot of you have received electronically. You're also going to get a letter in the mail that details a lot of the things we discussed tonight, but some other things as well. I did post this, I should say we posted this earlier on the Facebook Student Center. So those of you that aren't members, jump on that. You can read that ahead of time. You'll get a hard copy in the mail, but if you want to get the latest and greatest and get it faster, that's going to be a great way to do it. And it'll give you some more tech support and some other things too, and guide you in the right direction and help you stay engaged as we all work closer to black belt and beyond. All right. I think we're going to finish up for today unless there's any last comments or questions before we do that.
Let me just check Facebook.
We're going to take a quick look at Facebook. Keep in mind this will be posted on there where you can watch. Lewis, I do see a question from you. Go ahead.
My question is for belt testing coming up, are we going to be doing it virtually, or are we waiting until we return to the dojo?
Yeah, you've got some pretty bad background noise, so I'm going to mute you because you're squeaking, but I will answer that question. You're good.
Hey, real quick, I think why that happens is his volume's up pretty high, so it goes back through the system. So Lewis, if you just turn your volume down a little bit, might help too.
You would probably know a lot about that, I'd imagine. The long story short to that, Lewis, is we are going to do that one way or the other. Okay, we are going to push it off a week from when it was originally intended. We want to see what restrictions lie in front of us at that time. So we will not do it next week. What we will do is use next week to set up what we're going to do. And more than likely what it's going to be, whether it's in person or through Zoom, we'll be doing one-on-one, more than likely, stripe belt progress checks with everybody. And depending on what vehicles are available to us, we will use those. It could be a combination of a couple of those things too, depending on what our restrictions are at that point. But yeah, I would say at the very least, we're going to hopefully set up one-on-one appointments with everybody via Zoom where we can evaluate. We don't want anybody to get behind their progress. So, and that goes from everybody from black belt candidates down to little dragons. So we're gonna make that happen. It's gonna be a big undertaking for all your instructors to do that, but we're committed to make that happen for you guys. So, all right. I hope that was helpful. Thumbs up, Lewis. Okay, great. Any last questions?
Isaac Sherman says, sorry for being late, but he's on.
I think Cameron and Smokey have a question.
All right, Cameron.
Yeah, my cat just wanted to say hi to everyone at the dojo.
Well, very nice to see you and your cat. And I hope everybody has a wonderful finish to their Sunday, guys. You know, one of the things I would
Epstein Deli say hi to everybody as well. That's right.
One of the things I would ask is that everybody have an awesome weekend and enjoy the rest of their night. And remember to stay positive about everything that transpires and look at it as an opportunity to learn and to grow and to do some new things. I know myself and the staff have greatly enjoyed that process so far. We look forward to, as we get back to the usual run of things, implementing and maintaining a lot of the systems that we've set, so that when Romanelli's International Martial Arts comes back to live classes, it'll be better than ever. So on that note, have a happy Sunday, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And if you need anything at all, know that you can reach us at 586-466-3682 or on Facebook 24/7. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.